Welcome on in, everybody. Welcome to the Dloading pod. Today I have on my good friend Charlie Ricker, the Houston Rocket
I'm doing good,
fan
man.
and the
How you
Boise
doing? It's
State
good to be here.
Bronco. How
Thanks
you
for
doing
having
today,
me.
Chuck? Of course, had to
Let's
start
get
it off
into
right
it.
with one of my good buddies. So let's get right into it, man. We got Woj reported this morning that Harden is going to Philly in exchange for Ben Simmons. Those
Man,
two
you know what, Dan?
blockbuster deals. What are your
I think this
thoughts
is a
on
good
this?
move for both teams, honestly. As we all know, the 76ers have been trying to get an all-star caliber player for Ben Simmons, which a lot of people thought wasn't going to be possible. But, with recent issues in Brooklyn and trade rumors going about, I guess people could have probably guessed that this was going to happen. But I just think of this as the Nets, they got enough scores. They needed a defender. It's what they got in Ben Simmons. They also got Andre Drummond, big paint guy. Seth Curry, great shooter. And I think in Philly, I
Seth
mean, with
Curry
Harden, he's used to playing with a
and
big guy in Clint Capella, but Clint Capella could never score. So you got you got Clint Capella mixed with the best center in the league. So I don't know. How you feeling about this though, Dane?
I think it's a good trade for both teams. Um, the biggest takeaway I think is the big three just did not work in Brooklyn at all. Just injuries and the whole pandemic with Kyrie, and it just didn't seem like they had enough defense and all that kind of stuff. It just didn't feel like they meshed together well and just could never get on the floor together. So I think it's a good trade. The only thing that would worry me is Harden is a free agent this summer, so you got to hope if you're Philly that you ran this, you gave up a great young player in
Seriously,
Simmons. You better hope
well, we
that
were
you
just
get
talking
James
before the
Harden
show.
back
How
this
many games
summer,
did you
you
say
know?
they had even played together, that big three?
I believe it was 16
That's
games
crazy. And
together,
this is like,
something like that.
yeah, this is almost their
It
third
was
season
very
together.
little. I mean, yeah, I can't believe it. I think it's a good trade for both teams. I think Joel Embiid should be happy about this, and I think the huge thing that I took away from me is there was no Tyrese Maxey going to Brooklyn at all, so they got to keep him and Thibault, and those guys are pretty solid role young kids, that are gonna help this nice young little team and just kind of
Yeah,
help
the
them
East is
go from
heating
there, if
up
that
for
makes
sure.
sense.
For sure.
Yeah, it's gonna be interesting because you got Milwaukee, you got Brooklyn,
You got
and
Chicago
Philly.
too.
One
They're
of
playing
those
out here.
three teams are not
That's what
making.
I'm saying. I mean,
Yeah, one of those teams they're not making the
seriously.
Eastern Conference Finals, man. So it's kind of crazy. So yeah, it should be an interesting trade. But we also had another trade happen. The Portland Trailblazers sent C.J. McCollum to New Orleans. Kind of got Josh Hart, couple picks, and some role players as well. So
Yeah,
I
I
wanted to get
mean,
your thoughts on that one.
first thoughts on it are, I mean, how long have Dame and CJ been together? I mean, it seems like almost their whole careers. So, yeah,
I've
I mean,
not
they
nine
got
years
some
to be
got some
exact,
good wins,
13
had
through
some great
22
moments
this
together, but they
year.
never could reach that goal of getting to the championship. And I mean, I saw this tweet. It said that the Blazers are looking to build a whole new roster around Damian Lillard. But I mean, how many years have they been trying to do that where it hasn't worked? And if I'm Damian Lillard, I'm saying you just traded my number one guy. I mean, is he looking to get out of here? If I'm Damian Lillard, I'd be trying to get out of there too, but I'm not sure, honestly. I'm not sure where this leaves the Trailblazers.
Well, I I totally agree, and I just think Damian Lillard's the first thing you got to ask yourself is how much longer can I take this? And I feel like the Blazers, they've been in the same spot for like 5, 6 years, and they haven't really changed anything with their roster at all. They
Hmm.
make little adjustments, but it just hasn't really paid off for them. They never made the big move, and I think this trade was way late. I would have moved off CJ. I mean, they're a good duo, but they're getting to the first round and out every single year, if that makes sense. And if you're Damian Lillard, I know you're a loyal guy. I lived in Portland for 2 years. I used to go watch him play. He's a great player, but it's like, dang, he's about 31, 32 now. So it's like he's over halfway his career and he's probably had he's only got his best days left in him. So it's like, how loyal can
You
you
got a loyal
stay with your
guy.
team
Like you got a loyal
and
guy,
not
but it's
win?
like you can't stay loyal forever when your team's not, giving you what you want.
Yeah, it's interesting. I mean, I think Woj reported that they're trying to free up cap space, and it's like I don't see why anyone would want to go to Portland right now. What do
Besides
they
Damian
have
Lillard, I
there?
mean,
You look around the league, you look at Phoenix, look at the Warriors right now out west. I mean, those teams are young and got great young players and Curry leading them, so it's tough. And you got LeBron and AD if they can ever figure it out. It's just tough to
I
go
don't
to
know.
a
You
city
got
like Portland. It's
Dallas. Dallas.
isolated. It's cold.
It's not looking too hot. I mean, CJ on the Pelicans
Yeah.
though.
Um,
How do you feel about that?
well, that's where I wanted to get into is I like the move for them. I think they'll definitely be in the play-in. They'll be in the play-in tournament for sure, but like I said, I think this trade comes down to the two best players in Damian Lillard and Zion Williamson. What's going on with that guy, and
Yeah,
when
and
is he
I
getting
don't I
back
don't
on
really
the
think
floor?
anyone has an answer to that for Zion. I mean, we'd all love to see him out there putting people on posters, but no one wants to see him get out there early, put someone on a poster, land wrong, and then he's gone for another season. So these teams, the Pelicans just got to figure out how to, what do I want to say? How to get him in the role at the right time, you know? Because they got CJ, what's just Brandon? They got CJ now who can take
Well,
some
we
weight off his
gotta
shoulders until Zion gets back, but I don't know. They got to figure that out over there, man. They got to put him on a diet. They
they
do.
got Jackson Hayes. They got to figure out a way to figure out what's going on with him and kind of. It's just weird. I mean, they traded Anthony Davis to the
I
Lakers, and they're
mean,
getting almost the same thing back with Zion, is a guy that's arguably even more unhealthy so far in his career. You only hope the best for the kid, but it's like, dang, that guy
yeah,
can't stay on the floor. He's a big dude. I mean, he's got to figure something out with
yeah,
the new
seriously. I
diet, or
mean,
I
the
don't know what's
Pelicans have
going
been in
on
this
with them.
rebuild phase kind of for a very long time. And I mean, you hope that Zion can come back and because when he's healthy, I mean, he's averaging 26, 8, and 8 or 26, 8 and something. But then again, when he's healthy. So CJ, he's a pretty healthy guy. And I mean, he gets buckets. It's that simple. But we're just going to have to see.
Yeah. Well, I'm just getting some breaking news right now that Kristaps Porzingis is going to the Wizards
Whoa,
in exchange for
really?
Spencer Dinwiddie.
That must be breaking news, huh?
W- Yep, just 7 minutes ago, Shams tweeted the Wizards are trading Spencer Dinwiddie to the Dallas Mavericks in exchange
Whoa.
for Kristaps. Um, wow, that is a
Yeah,
big trade for Dallas
yeah.
there.
I
Let me
mean,
get your initial
the
thoughts on
Wizards,
that,
they've
Chuck.
been playing pretty good this season. They're in the playoffs right now, correct? Let me look at the standings.
Yes, they just
I
lost
saw
Bradley
that.
Beal on the year
I
though
saw
with
that.
his
That is
knee
just
injury. I
terrible,
know he's
man.
he's done.
I mean,
So
Kristaps is a 7 foot guy, which is huge for Luca, but I mean, he sits around the 3 point line all day long, and I feel like Luca's kind of like, dude, get down there and do something. But I don't know, Spencer Dinwiddie, he's a great player.
yeah, I just feel like that. Yeah, I feel like that Luca and Kristaps thing never really worked out. I don't
I
know
don't
really
really
what
either. I mean,
happened
Kristaps
there,
was
or
he was turning into a star in New York,
I don't
and
really know
then
what
happens. I don't know. I'm not sure, but dang, that's a big trade.
just did. Yeah, I mean that's a great trade. I like it a lot for Dallas just because they got a guy Dinwiddie that can come sub in for Luca and
Yeah,
give them quality minutes off the
seriously.
bench if they choose to
And
not start him.
he's proved himself as a consistent player in the NBA too. So you're not really taking a risk there with him.
Oh, it looks like Harden will be opting into his contract with the Sixers, it looks like. So they will get him for 2 years, and if he's opting in, it's 47
Yeah, that's
million.
big for
So
Philly.
that's a good
It's
start
big for
there in
Philly.
Philly, like I was saying. I mean, but you
Seriously,
never know with
we
free
shall
agency,
see.
so
It's
that'll
heating
be
up.
interesting. Well, shoot, I wanted to talk about another one here is our good guy. We're both got Spokane blood in him. Domantas Sabonis is going to Sacramento in exchange for Haliburton, Buddy Hield, and Tristan Thompson. My first thoughts on it were kind of surprised the Kings gave up on Haliburton a little bit. He was having a really good rookie year, but I mean, you're getting a great player in Sabonis back, so it should be interesting. I mean, I think the West is super competitive too, with just like how many superstars are out there, and they don't got much young talent. So I think it's the right
Yeah,
move for Sac, just because they need to mix it up a little bit. They've kind of been the same team, kind of like Portland, but just like haven't hit on their draft picks. Just missed out. They missed out on
yeah.
Luca, and they just have missed out. So I think getting an All-Star in Sabonis should be interesting. I mean, we'll see where that takes him. The West is competitive enough where it's tough, man, the play-in tournament compared to the East. The East is more,
Exactly,
dominant
exactly.
at the
And
top, but the bottom it's a little lower.
yeah, I mean, Sabonis, he's already been an all-star. He's young. He's proven what he can do. I really like this trade for the Kings. Yeah, Tyrese Haliburton is a great young player with a lot of upside, but I mean, if the Kings are trying, they've been just like the Pelicans. I mean, they've been rebuilding forever, it seems like. And I like that move because that's pretty much them saying, we're trying to win now. We got a great young guy in De'Aaron Fox, who, I mean, they haven't really used him at all. Um,
Yep,
so I'm more confused on the
exactly.
Pacers. I mean, I feel like Sabonis has kind of been their guy. Um, I don't know if I don't really know why they would want to get rid of him. That's honestly what I'm confused about. I think it's a great trade for the Kings. Yeah, the Pacers are getting a great young guy in Halliburton, but I mean they're basically just giving up an All Star and he was an All Star in like his third or fourth year. So I don't know. We'll have to see how that plays out. I think the Kings are very happy about getting that young man.
Yeah, and I know that they just traded Karis LeVert to Cleveland earlier this week, the Pacers did. So it seems like they're going into a rebuild. So I don't know really
Yeah,
what is going on with that. Looks like they're gonna rebuild and start from the draft. So I bet Miles Turner could very well be on his way out eventually here. Maybe I don't know about today, but very well in the future I
seriously,
could see him winning out.
seriously.
But yeah, crazy stuff. Trade deadline today, Thursday, February 2022. Like we said, James Harden is heading to Philly in exchange for Ben Simmons, Andre Drummond, Seth Curry, and some picks as well. So, like we said, very interesting. That kind of Harden is also wanted to add this in. Harden is going back to the general manager who he used to be with in Houston, Daryl Morey. So I know that there's always been rumors about, him wanting to get to Philly
Yeah,
and all that stuff. So it actually paid off, and
yeah. I mean, those
I
two
think it
guys,
should be an interesting pair
they must love
now.
each other. I mean, Morey leaves, Harden leaves, both in different spots, but then they get back together.
Well, let's talk about this real quick. Let's talk about let's talk about the Rockets real quick. I know you're a Rocket fan, and I was watching the Virginia Duke game on Monday, and um, Houston's going to be up there for one of the top picks, and Paulo really struggled in the second half there. I mean, what are your thoughts? And I just wanted to ask you, who you taking
I
number one
mean,
right now
everyone
if
knows
you get
Houston.
the
We're
number
gonna
one
go there.
pick?
We're gonna get a top 3 draft pick. Thing with Houston is Paulo. He's that guy. He's a great scorer. I feel like Houston. We already have a lot of young scorers in Jalen Green and Kevin Porter Jr. Christian Wood's a great big man, great footwork, can shoot it. Obviously no team's going to complain about getting that young man from Duke, but for Houston, I mean, I wouldn't mind seeing them get Chet Holmgren. He's a 7-foot interior monster, huge wingspan. I feel like when you got a guy like that, it just really changes the game. Spread the floor out, you take it in, I got this 7-foot monster I got to shoot over the top of. So then it just changes the whole other team's game plan. I feel like if they were to get Paulo, I mean, he's going to be good. He's going to be great, I think. But how would him, Kevin Porter Jr., and Jalen Green all, score
Yeah.
first type of guys? Kevin Porter Jr. plays some good defense, but he's definitely a score first type of guy. How would they all work together? So I think if the Rockets are really buying into the Jalen Green KPJ, I feel like the right move would be the Chet Holmgren move or the Chet Holmgren pick just because for his defense, honestly.
Yeah, I actually agree with that. I mean, if I was Houston, I would take Holmgren just because of the defense, like you said. It's hard to coach wingspan and defense, but if I was another team, I'd honestly probably go with Paulo right now, just because dude's a scorer, can make a shot from anywhere.
He's
His
big.
pull-up game is crazy. His mid-range, he can shoot the three. He's quick. He's quick too, man. That kid's got a quick first step, and us being both from
Yeah,
Washington State, we
sure,
knew he was going to be good really quick.
for
So,
sure.
I mean, you can't go wrong with that kid. Would have
Can't
loved
go
to see him in
wrong.
a Zag uniform, but
Yeah.
oh well. He's been great for Duke so far. Well, obviously, we got the big game this Sunday. We got the Bengals and Rams in LA. Chuck, let's start with this. Who do you like
Let's see
and
here. First off, I
why?
just want to say if someone would have told me at the beginning of the season that the Bengals would be in the Super Bowl, I would have called them absolutely insane, and I would have put my whole bank account on that not happening. So, I mean, shout out to them on that. Joe Burrow really proved people wrong. I was one of the guys that he proved wrong. I thought after this injury, maybe he wouldn't come back as strong or something, but I mean, I was wrong for sure. So, this kid's got a lot of heart in him. I mean, him and Jamar Chase, that man's unstoppable. Um, I mean, Joe Burrow's just a winner. You think about it, you look at the
Yeah.
matchups and you think the Rams should win this game. They're the better team. They've got more experience. But, I mean, the Bengals, I mean, they should have lost, I feel like, their last 2 games, but they keep winning them. So now I look at these games now and I'm like, it's like it's like when you say don't bet against Brady because he's done it so many times. Just this playoff in its own, Joe Burrow has been playing so good. It's like I don't want to bet against him. I personally think that if I had to bet on it, I would bet the Rams, but I would not be surprised if Joe Burrow and Jamar Chase come out. They're looking for that win. Joe Burrow would be the first dude to win a Heisman and a Super Bowl, pretty sure. So, and he would be doing it in his second year in the NFL. So, I mean, I would pick the Rams, but
Amazing. But who you
you know, don't mark my words on it because Joe Burrow's been proving a lot of people wrong.
give me a score. You got the Rams. What's the score?
27-24, LA, last minute field goal. Zoom in on Joe Burrow. He's watching them celebrate. He'll be there next year.
Fair enough. Yeah.
If they lose.
He'll
If
be
they
there
lose, I
next
feel
year.
like he's just going
Wow.
to be fired up, especially if it's a
That's
close
a
game
big
like
take.
that. Kid's only in his second year. So if they lose this game, I could see them being right back
It's
there next year.
amazing, yeah.
What about you, Dane? What are you thinking?
Yeah, I mean, I I think it's an interesting game. Like you said, Joe Burrow is going to be the deciding factor here. But I think the biggest thing is, can the pass rush, who's going to win the offensive line, defensive line? Who's going to win the line of scrimmage?
Yeah,
I
100%.
honestly think that's going to decide the game. Um, I do like the Rams D line. I think Aaron Donald has a big presence for sure. So I think he's going to be a huge part of this game. I think he's got to get to the quarterback for the Rams, and I just see the D line being a big thing. But it comes down to the QB for the Bengals at the end of the day. Joe Burrow is really good, and
Yeah,
he's got some great weapons as well. So I think whoever can force the turnovers and not
penalties.
turn the ball over
Yeah,
and turn turnovers
yeah,
into touchdowns is going to win the game. I I kind of get the vibe too, kind of with Tampa last year,
huge.
the home field. I think that plays a huge advantage. I really do. Not traveling, not getting on a flight, you're doing all that media stuff and you're able to go home
Mhm.
because the Super Bowl is such a big event
Yeah,
in general. I mean, it's unreal. It's a whole week. So even before you get on the pads and play. So I'm gonna go with I'm gonna go with the Rams as well. I have not been very good on my NFL picks this year,
yeah.
so I haven't been betting
I
much of
was
the NFL for that reason, but I'm gonna go Rams. I'm gonna go Rams as well, and I'm gonna go
right.
34-28. And I'm gonna actually
Yeah.
have
One
Aaron
more thing I was
Donald,
going to
I
say
think, will
too.
win
I
the
feel like
MVP. So
the key to the game is the obviously quarterbacks, but the Rams defensive line. I feel like if the Bengals can find a way to stop Aaron Donald in that D line, they're going to win this game. But we've seen it plenty of times where Aaron Donald in that D line can just absolutely shake up a QB, change the game plan. So the Bengals can't find a way to figure out that D line. I think it's going to be a hard game for them to win. Vice versa, if they can.
yes, and I'm really
Yeah,
excited to watch the
seriously.
Jalen Ramsey Jamar Chase matchup. Um, I really do believe Jalen is still the best, even though he left the Jags. He's been great in LA, and I think he's really good. So I'm really excited. And Jamar
Yeah,
Chase is really
seriously.
fast. I mean that kid is quick. So that's my biggest
I mean,
matchup
you
I'm
always got to
looking
watch out for
forward
Cooper
to.
Cup.
And
That man will
yeah,
tear
so
a
I got
team
34
apart.
20. Yes, the Eastern Washington grad. In my opinion, probably now
I think
you could even
I
put
think
him as
he
the best
is. I
receiver in the
mean,
league.
I've
Him
never
and
seen a
Devontae
man be
Adams are right
open
there.
as many times as I've seen Cooper Cup. Matt Stafford throws the ball, and before you even see who's throwing it to, you're like, I bet this is Cooper Cup. Catches it, and I feel like every single time after he catches it, he's getting at least 5 yards on that after that catch, which is huge.
Yeah, he's a playmaker. There's a lot of great players um, out there in this game this weekend. Wow. So I'm excited to watch it. Well, I think that's going to do it for episode one. We got Charlie Ricker, the Boise State native. Chuck, one more question, quick question. Are the Boise State
I
Broncos
think we can
making the
do it. I mean,
NCAA
this is
tournament this
probably the
year?
best basketball team Boise State's ever had. Um, we're first in the Mountain West right now. We just beat Wyoming the other day, who was first. Crazy game. I think we can do it. We just got to hold strong. I've seen us fold a lot on games, though, so they're going to have to prove me wrong. But I think the biggest problem with them is just closing it out in the fourth quarter. Shout out my man, Najee Smith. He's a game changer. Hopefully they can work him in and help him change the game. But you know what? I think we can do it. And then who knows? Cinderella story in the tournament.
Yeah, we'll see. That kid Tyson Dagenhart from Spokane as well. And looks like that kid's gonna win the
Yeah.
freshman of the whole entire conference. So, anyways, that's
Yeah.
gonna do
Thanks
it for
for
the
having
first
me.
episode of the
Appreciate
Dloading
it.
Pod. Chuck, thanks for
Yep.
coming on,
Crazy.
talking a little trade deadline.
Right.
Yep, and we'll see you guys real soon.
Yeah.
I'll
Thanks
try
for
to
having
upload
me.
every single week,
Bye.
guys. All right, appreciate it, Chuck. Take care, man. Yep.